together with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. Just me today as we have 11 games in the NBA, 3 in the NHL. So not a huge card to go over, but we do have some stuff to go over. We have a trade going down in the NBA as I was driving home from class just a few minutes ago. So there's some moves going on in the NBA as well. Where is it? Where was it? Why don't I see it was, I think, Middleton to the Wizards. Yep, here we go. Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin Jr. and a second-round draft compensation to the Bucks for Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, and a pick swap. Which is interesting there. So they wanted Kyle Kuzma on Milwaukee Bucks. I don't get trading Middleton there, but hey, I am not a NBA GM, nor will I ever be. So there's that as well. Recap of last night, not fun. Down 4.7 units. Definitely could have been better. It felt like I don't know. It was a weird night. Columbus plus 145. That went. Yeah, they lost 3-2. So they would have covered the puck line, but they lost the game outright. But the puck line was probably some stupid juice. Minnesota-Boston. Minnesota off of a 6-0 loss gets shut out again. 3-0 against the Boston Bruins. The Bruins are in action tonight. We have made a move on that game against the Rangers. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Over 6.5, Washington and Florida came through. So that was a winner there. Winnipeg plus 105 was a winner there. So they shut out Carolina. Eric Comrie with a shutout win there for them. The over 5.5 does not get there in Philadelphia and Utah. The Flames does not get there. They lose 6-3. The over 5.5 in Seattle, Detroit does get there. 5-4 final there. And then the Sharks come up short at the end of the night there. They won the first period, but that was the only thing they won last night as the Montreal Canadiens get a 4-2-3 win. In the NBA, it was a 1-3 night. Got the Dallas and the Dallas Mavericks. I only got because I took the points. I took the 2.5 with them. They lost by 2, so I got the one by a hook there in that one. Cleveland minus 120. That was not great. I thought they were gonna. I was just following the way I usually do it with Boston. You back them after a loss, you fade them after a win. And I will fade Boston in their next game. They finally won as an underdog. Hats off to them. Raptors plus 4.5. Felt like that could have gotten there. It was literally the second quarter was the only thing the Knicks did right. They won the second quarter by 21 points. Other than that, it was all Raptors. So frustrating that one quarter costs the Raptors the cover in that game. Happens. And then the Clippers got demolished by the Lakers. I thought that was a good spot for them. It was not. So overall, a bad day yesterday. But we get a decent card to bounce back today in the NBA. On the NHL, 3 games. Yeah. So we'll head over to the chat, and then we'll get into today's games. See, pro tip: do not fade Sorokin at home. Nick will provide his home record, but I believe it's 8-1-0. I believe that's his record in the last 10 or his last 9 starts. So there's that. I mean, he's been awesome. Yeah, Sorokin. Yes, we had a bad night. We did not win our bets. NBA, what's that? It's the National Blowout Association, or no betting allowed. It's shooty hoops. Just saw your response to MLB rankings, and you said the Yankee lineup is not as good, but have have the Mets the better lineup. Explain to me how the Mets lineup is better. Simple. They added probably the best overall professional hitter in baseball in Juan Soto, who is, I believe, going for his 9th straight year of over 400 on base percentage. He walks at an elite rate. I was looking over these stats. He walks at an elite rate. Okay. But he's more than just that. When the ball is when it's in the strike zone, he's in the 98th percentile in contact rate and the 99th contact in power. So he walks, but when you throw a strike, he kills the ball. I think this is a really good, obviously, it's a really good bat to throw in the lineup for the Mets. Where now that's also me kind of assuming. Now I will drop the Mets if they don't re-sign Pete Alonso, because I think Pete Alonso is a big factor in this as well. Because the way I was kind of looking at it is assuming that Alonso will be a Met again, because he has literally no market elsewhere. And I think eventually he's just going to bend a knee and sign a 3-year deal with the Mets with an opt-out after the first or something along those lines. So this is assuming that having Lindor at leadoff. Yeah, I mean, and then Juan Soto, Mark Vientos, who is, I think, primed to have a 30-plus home run year. Pete Alonso, I mean, and then Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, I think, and he's going to be hitting 8th in the lineup or something along those lines. I think Francisco Alvarez can have a much better year offensively. He was hampered by injuries last year. He's also a really good defensive catcher. So the offense doesn't need to be there for him. I think just overall, and when you look at the Yankee lineup, who are you scared of? You're complaining about how Juan Soto is going to be. You're complaining how Juan Soto is going to be walked a million times. How about Aaron Judge? Are you really scared of facing Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, who's hurt half the year? Like, who are you really scared of in this New York Yankees lineup other than Aaron Judge? I'm not scared of Volpe. Not scared of Chisholm. Not scared of old past his prime Goldschmidt. Not scared of Bellinger. I'm only scared of Stanton in the playoffs because that's where he shows up. Austin Wells is a catcher. Jason Dominguez has yet to prove himself. And then it's Waldo Cabrera. I'm shocked is still in the starting lineup. Like, this lineup, I mean, this Yankees lineup looks awesome 7 years ago. This is not 2020. This is not 2017 anymore. Goldschmidt's not an MVP anymore. Bellinger is not the way he was a few years ago. So, yes, no, I think the Yankee lineup, you're going to be very disappointed. You're going to notice Juan Soto is a huge missing piece. How about Gleyber Torres as well? I know you like to shit on him because he left the Yankees. Gleyber Torres was one of the more consistent hitters on that lineup. So, yes, I do have a good explanation on how the Mets lineup is better. Yes. What's good, Markel? Okay, Soto and who? Lindor has had way more than one good year. I don't understand your hate for Lindor. This guy has finished in the top 10 in MVP voting multiple times. He's a consistent player. Like, I don't understand. And Vientos, yes, Vientos, he's going to have to prove it a little bit more, but I do believe that he was a breakout guy last year that's going to continue into this year. I could be very wrong about that, but I do think Mark Vientos continues the way he was last year because I think he's only going to get better. So, yeah, I think the Mets lineup is good. I think it's better than the Yankees. I will say the starting rotation's better on the Yankee side. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Bullpen-wise, I'll give it to the Mets. So that's why. And I also think the National League is significantly better than the American League, hence why the top 5 teams in my power rankings are from the National League. So there you go. Yankee fans are still mad. Yeah, they are. Absolutely they are. It was hilarious watching them during the regular season saying how great Soto was. He signs with the Mets and he's the worst player in the world. So I get it. I mean, okay, tell me where else Alonso's going to go. Oh, wait. Where else is Alonso going? If he would have gone anywhere else by now, if he would have been going anywhere, signing anywhere else, he would have signed by now. Notice he hasn't. There's no market for him. All the first base market was gone. There you go. How about Rizzo? Yeah, Rizzo's gone. Yeah, knew that. Torres is a lazy bum. All he tried to do is, he was one of the only above average hitters on that lineup, though. Yeah, his defense wasn't the greatest, but we're talking about lineup. We're not talking about defense right now. Gleyber Torres was one of your more consistent hitters in the lineup last year. He's one of the only ones that played 140 plus games that put up, when I was looking at his numbers overall in 2024, I would say he was the third best hitter in the New York Yankees. Gleyber Torres. Juan Soto was 2, Judge was 1. So they lost their second and third best consistent hitters in that lineup. And you're telling me this lineup's better because they added old Paul Goldschmidt to a 1-year deal? Take off the Yankee glasses once in a while and actually read this Yankees team for what it is. Are they a playoff team? Yes, because the American League sucks ass. Are they probably a division winner? Probably. Because, the Orioles did not get better. The Blue Jays got better, but they were a last place team. The Red Sox got better, but they were a 500 team last year. So are the Yankees going to make the playoffs? Yes. Are they probably going to win the division? Yes. Are they probably going to make a decent playoff run because they'll play nothing but American League Central teams because the American League Central gets to play a lot of games against the Chicago White Sox to boost their record and get into the playoffs? Yes. But when you play a real team in the playoffs like you did with the Dodgers last year, that's what's going to happen. So let's get into some NBA because we do have 11 games in the NBA. And that was a nice long conversation about baseball to start it off. And I can't wait to talk some baseball. I'm setting up for my future shows and things along those lines. I've already capped most of the American League East. And I want to continue doing that today, tomorrow, and the next day to fully prepare for these future shows. But when you look at the Yankees, they're a playoff team, yes, but I'm not impressed. I'm not like, wow, this team is a world beater by any stretch of the imagination. Even Hal Steinbrenner says they can't compete with the Dodgers. So, and this is big bad Yankees, sure. All right, Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons. This line opened up at a 6.5. It's down to a 5.5. So we do have a move towards the Detroit Pistons. Line opened up at a 236. It's now 238.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game. Let's see if come on, load, please. There we go. All right. We have 81% of tickets, 83% of cash on the Cavaliers, yet this line's moving towards Detroit, which makes the Pistons look kind of appealing in this matchup here. We have 68% of tickets, 70% of cash on the over. Line's moving towards the over for those who want to back the over. So it looks like we're going to see a little bit of a higher scoring game in this one, and it looks like that the market's suggesting to us that Detroit's very live in this game. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers coming in off of a loss. They lost 112 to 105 last night against the Boston Celtics. And this is the second half of a back-to-back. It's the third game in 4 nights for the Cleveland Cavaliers. On the flip side, we have the Detroit Pistons who are coming in. They had yesterday off, but they lost their previous game as 4.5-point favorites, 132 to 130 against the Atlanta Hawks. So they're coming in off of a loss. So are the Cleveland Cavaliers. This market's pointing towards Detroit being very live. And I kind of agree with that there. I don't think this is a good scheduling spot here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're playing Boston, and you get to play Detroit the next night. Granted, it is after a loss. But sign me up here. I'm still going to be able to get a 6 over on Fanatics with the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to take a little Detroit basketball here at +6. I think this is a good situational spot with them catching the Cavaliers in the spot they're in. And I think that they could take advantage here in this one. So give me some Detroit basketball plus the 6 -110 over on Fanatics. If Alonzo had any self-respect, he would not go back to the Mets. They clearly want to rip him off. No, they offered him a market correct contract. Like the contract that they offered him was a fair market value contract. He would be getting paid in between what Olsen is and what Freddie Freeman is. He'd be getting paid probably the contract the Mets offered him is probably a little bit too high, to be completely honest, because he's getting paid like a top 5 first baseman in baseball. I don't know if he is. Is he a top 5 power hitter in baseball? You can make that argument, but overall first baseman, I don't know. LOL, stop. No, yeah. Who has the better record, Mets or Yankees? Let's hear it, Earle. Yankees. I think at the end of the year, the Yankees will have a better overall record. They get more games in the American League. The Mets play in arguably the toughest division in baseball and the tougher league in baseball. So the Mets' strength of schedule will be harder than the New York Yankees, which I think will then result in them having a worse record than the New York Yankees. So I think at the end of the season, the Yankees will have a better record than the New York Mets. I'm not saying the Yankees are a world beater, but they are sure better than the Mets. Okay, well, see, you have Mets blinders on. No? I look at analytics. I look at statistics. It's more than just feel and the eye test. You also got to keep in mind that there's literal numbers behind results. So, Milwaukee Bucks are 10-point road favorites against the Charlotte Hornets. They just made that trade this morning. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out lineup-wise for them. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. It opened up at an 8.5. It's now a 10.5. So we do have a move towards the Bucks here in this game. I highly doubt we'll see Kuzma tonight, and I highly doubt we'll see any of the trade pieces tonight for them. Line opened up 218. It's now 220.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we had the Bucks 54% tickets, 64% of the cash on them. The line's moving towards them. So at least the line's moving towards them with actually the sharp money on Milwaukee in this game. 92% of tickets, 94% of the cash is on the over here as well. Overall, not a game I'm particularly interested in. I definitely do not want to lay the points with the Bucks in this game, but they seem kind of sharp in this one. So overall, is this a game that I feel gung-ho to go ahead and bet right away? The answer is a pretty simple no, but it would be leaning towards the Bucks. I just don't want to lay this type of number on the road. What's good, Coyote? What's good? We'll move on, though. Third game of the day, the San Antonio Spurs and the Atlanta Hawks. We have the Hawks the Spurs are 5-point road favorites with a total of 240.5. This line opened up at a 3. It's now to a 5 for San Antonio. Line opened up 241. It's now 242.5. Taking a look at the cash flow in this one here, 47% of tickets, 53% of the cash is on the San Antonio Spurs. Line moving towards them. 67% of tickets, 70% of the cash is on the over. The line is moving towards the over here in this game. So we're seeing a little bit of market respect here for the over, even at this pretty decent number. We have the San Antonio Spurs. They're coming in on back-to-back losses. It was a bad loss in their last game, a 19-point loss as 3.5-point dogs against the Memphis Grizzlies. On the flip side, we have the Atlanta Hawks. They snapped their 8-game losing streak in their last matchup there with a 2-point win over the Detroit Pistons. And is this a spot where they maybe be able to keep it going here in this one? I don't think so. I kind of like the Spurs in this matchup. The line movement's kind of telling me the Spurs probably take care of business in this one. I'm seeing 4.5 here for San Antonio. I'm seeing a line move towards the over here as well, which kind of tells me that we see points in this game. And I'm trying to see what the best available number is in this one here. And it looks like I'm seeing 123.5 minus 110 on DraftKings for a team total over for the San Antonio Spurs. I'm going to move on that there. Is this team total over for the Spurs in this game? And the main reason why is I really don't want to lay the points on the road here with the Spurs, but I do think they put up points in this game. And the market does as well. So I would lean, and now if I'm betting aside in this game, it would obviously, if I'm playing, I'm going to be laying the points with the San Antonio Spurs. But with that being said, I am going to just take the team total over here in this one. It's 123.5 minus 110 over on DraftKings. So sign me up for a little San Antonio Spurs action for this game here. Let me go ahead and submit that bet. There we go. Team total over 123.5 minus 110 DraftKings. So that's where we're going for this one. Let's see. I see a 9 on DK. Give me the Hornets fast 2 Jolly Rancher play. All right. What about them Lakers? I was dead wrong on that game. Yeah. Coyote, if you listened to my plays yesterday, you have been a millionaire today. Okay. Yeah. How so? 2 Jolly Rancher play Nets. The Knicks over. There you go. Nice. Islander under, Buff money line, 5-1 plays given out here. Okay. Yeah, I was on Buff -1, so it pushed. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have recommended laying $1.65 on the Buffalo Sabres, but it is what it is. We'll move on, though. The next matchup here is the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. The Heat 1-point road favorites in this game, total of 216.5. And this line has moved up, it looks like, to around 219.5. I'm starting to see. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. Yeah, we're seeing 219s now. When I typed this up, it was 216.5, and it's now gone all the way up to a 219. Line opened up 1.5. It's down to a 1 now. So we do have a slight move towards the 76ers in this game here. I want to take a look at the money line real quick. See if it's moved like that. It's moved slightly towards the Sixers as well on the money line. Line opened up 105. It's now 109 for Philadelphia. So we do have a slight move towards Philly in this game. Let's take a look at the cash flow, see if it kind of correlates with the Philadelphia 76ers play in this game here, where we have 66% of tickets, 63% of cash on the spread, 52% of the tickets, 50% of the cash on the money line. So a slight move towards the Sixers makes sense. It's not one of those I have to go out of my way in order to bet the Sixers in this spot. Philadelphia coming in off of a win last night. They're on a second half of a back-to-back, a third game in 4 nights. As they beat the Dallas Mavericks 118-116 last night. On the flip side, we had the Miami Heat off of a 9-point loss against the Chicago Bulls. That was also last night as well. I was leaning towards the Bulls in this game, never pulled the trigger, unfortunately. But for me, this is a no play for me. It would be dog or pass. I would only look towards the Sixers in this game, but not a game I'm going to get invested in. But we won't toot my own horn, okay? Yes, -170 is too much to lie. No way the Spurs can be a 5 even with Fox. Give me the Hawks. Okay. Miami money line. Bulls money line. What a play. There you go. Went 4-2 in the NBA. Blazers look good. Yeah, I should have bet the Blazers last night. Oh well. Heat was my only loss. They are garbage. All right. Mavs and Cavs lost. Yeah, I was on the Cavs yesterday. That was frustrating there. All right. Best matchup of the day, though, is this one right here. We get the Washington Wizards and the Brooklyn Nets. We have the Nets 2.5-point favorites in this game, total 216.5. Line opened up around a pick 'em, -1 for Brooklyn. Now it's a 2.5. Line opened up 217. It's down to a 216. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one here. 79% of the tickets and 66% of the cash is on the Nets in this game. The line has moved towards them. And then 75% of tickets on the money line for the Nets, but 55% of the cash is on the money line for the Wizards. So it looks like sharp money coming in on Washington, but the market not really reflecting that too much. 87% of tickets, 83% of the cash is on the over in this game as well. Taking a look at the matchup here, just an absolute beauty of a matchup. And I have not bet the Washington Wizards all year. This market kind of points towards them now. Don't look now. It's the red-hot Washington Wizards on a 2-game winning streak. They beat the Charlotte Hornets the other night, 124-114 as 4.5-point dogs. They won outright against Minnesota as 11.5-point dogs the previous game. So the red-hot Washington Wizards on a 2-game winning streak here. And then the Brooklyn Nets. So 2 really bad teams that are both on winning streaks. So they've won 3 in a row. They beat the Rockets twice in a row. And then they beat Charlotte as well. So this is a Brooklyn team that's playing some decent basketball here. But yeah, for me in this game, I mean, it's Wizards or nothing. I don't like the one thing that does concern me about the Wizards a little bit was the trade they just made and it messing up with their rotation, their lineup. I mean, this team sucks already, so it's not like it's going to probably have too much of an impact. But this market kind of tells me that the Wizards are a live dog in this game, but this is a solid 1-800-GAMBLER game, and move on. Wizards, yeah, I would lean that way. Give me the Nets. Like I said yesterday, they play hard. I see a big parlay forming here. Good luck. A good way to go 5-1 is a 6-leg parlay. Toronto Raptors and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies 9.5-point road favorites. Total of 239 in this game. Line opened up into 9. It's now 7. It's now 9.5. So we do have a pretty decent move towards Memphis in this game. Line opened up 242.5 down to 238.5. So we do have a drop in this game total wise. 4-point drop towards the under. in this game. We have looks like 62% of tickets, 59% of cash is on the Memphis Grizzlies. The line has moved towards said Grizzlies. 70% of tickets, 64% of cash on the over. I wonder how much of this money is coming in at the 238 number, though, 238.5, rather than the 240s. We have the Toronto Raptors coming in off of a loss last night. This is the third game in 4 nights for them. It's the second half of a back-to-back, so not a good situational spot if you're the Toronto Raptors coming in off the game against the New York Knicks. Granted, they didn't travel. On the flip side, the Memphis Grizzlies, they've won 9 of their last 10 games. They've covered in 7 of them. They've been an awesome team this year. The line's moving towards them. I don't want to lay this many points on the road, but I don't really have too much of an interest in the Raptors either, so this is another easy stay off spot for me. These big spreads are easier to stay off than not. So yeah. Pass this game, just skip it. Fair. Kuzma had 20 points in the last game. He's gone. Yep. I'm out. Good luck. See you, Coyote. See you. That was fast. Yeah. It is what it is. He popped by, probably hit the like button. We appreciate every single person that pops by, even if you hang out for one game or the whole show. We appreciate everybody who comes and supports the channel. We appreciate it. The Minnesota Timberwolves are taking on the Chicago Bulls. We have the T-Wolves anywhere between 10.5. Now we're seeing 11s and 11.5 point favorites in this game. Total 227.5. Line open up at a 9. It's now 11.5. Line opened up at the 222, and it's going immediately to a 224, and now we're seeing 228. So a skyrocket towards the over in this one here. Chicago, we have 68% of tickets, 62% of cash on the Bulls, and the line's moving towards the Timberwolves, which is interesting there with the line moving against them. And then on the flip side, 90% of tickets, 91% of cash on the over in this game as well. I really don't want to lay this many points with the Minnesota Timberwolves, but I mean they're off of back-to-back losses now. They lost to Sacramento as favorites. They lost to Washington as favorites. I just don't trust Minnesota. I think this is an overvalued, overrated team, and we're starting to see it here. That they're 20-29 and 1 ATS this year. They've been a good bet against. But on the flip side, do I want to back Chicago in this game? They're coming in off of a nice win, but they are also on a second half of a back-to-back, third game of 4 nights, and with travel. So not a situation I really want to back them here in this one. So it's not – this is – I mean, there's – how many huge favorites do we have on this card? We have the Bucks at 10. We have the Grizzlies as 9.5. We have the Timberwolves as 10.5. We have the Nuggets 10.5. We have the Thunder 12. We have some big favorites on this card. I don't like it. So, yeah. Let's see. Are you serious? Sharks lost. Yeah. But cash the first period. Yep. Grizzlies will put up 130. Wouldn't shock me. What's good, MD? If 446 loves to talk Mets and Yankees, when will 446 be on the ESP show? Whenever he wants to show up. I can if he wants to, yeah. I mean, if he wants to show his face on the show, which I doubt he ever will, yeah, he can. Yeah. I can send an invite to his Twitter right now. I can click invite, copy the link, go over to Twitter, go into a direct message that he is and send him the link to the show. He will never join the show, but let's just for fun here. We have time. Where are you? There you go. He will never join the show, but in his Twitter DM right now is a link to the show, a link to the StreamYard. He will never join it, but the invite was just sent. So the ball's in your court, Mr. Numbers. They banned me. I can't. The invite's out there. There you go. Yeah, they will invite you right now. Yes, I have sent the direct message. Yeah. Hard to bet these games without an injury report, but they have a show to do. I got plenty of time. Check the DM, bro. Yep, yeah. Mr. Numbers is chicken? Yes, he is. Very much so. Let's get into it. The Golden State Warriors and the Utah Jazz. We have the Golden State Warriors -6, total of 227 in this game. Taking a look at the line history, it opened up at a 7, it's down to a 6.5. Line opened up at a 229.5, it's down to 226.5 now. So move towards the under here as well. See the cash flow in this game, 66% of the tickets, 71% cash coming on the Warriors. The line's moving towards the Jazz. This game makes Utah kind of appealing in this matchup. 79% of the tickets, 75% of the cash is on the over in this game as well. The line kind of dropping there. Golden State's coming in off of a win against the Orlando Magic. This is their first game on the road after a 6-game road trip. So there's that. On the flip side, Utah, they lost by 1 in their last game against the Indiana Pacers. They did cover as 6.5-point dogs. They've covered in back-to-back games now, even though they're 1-9 straight up in their last 10 games. I want the Jazz in this one here at with the points in this game. I do not trust the Golden State Warriors to be winning and covering at that type of number at all. And the market's kind of pointing towards that as well. So over on Bet365, the Utah Jazz +6.5 and -110 is now on my card. So rocking with the Jazz in this one here. Plus the 6.5. It's just a 3-game NHL slate, nothing big. Yep. Cleveland State college basketball. I need to take a look at the spreadsheet real quick for that. It's not. It wasn't. I know it's not an official play because I would have. I know we would have. I would have had that bet already. But let's see. Cleveland. We see some value on Cleveland State. We have them around a 3.5-point favorite. So yeah, you can money line them up, and yeah, I will lose respect. Oh yeah, because there's tons of people who watch this show. No, you won't. Just for fun, not in my business world. Okay, sure. I think you're full of crap, but whatever. Favorite college basketball today? Thank you. Yep. Yeah, I would lean towards Cleveland State. They're a 2-point favorite. I'd just take the money line. How about a college basketball show every day next week? I'm talking with Tim. I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna go forward. I think either Super Bowl Sunday or the day after, we're gonna switch the format of the live shows a little bit because I believe going over game by game is getting a little stale. So I believe we're gonna do a different. I think there's gonna be a different format to the show going forward a little bit, where it's not every single game, but you guys can still ask questions about them. But I think we're gonna have more like topics to talk about and stuff like that, breaking down trades, breaking down certain ideas and things along those lines, where you guys can ask about games, but then we'll also be debating, like maybe we'll do power rankings one day, and it'll be more than just a betting show, I think, going forward. This week is going to be still the normal ESB show, but probably either Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to do a Super Bowl show. And then after that, they'll probably be a little bit different of a format. So we'll see. I don't know yet. So we'll move on, though. 3 games remaining in the NBA. The Denver Nuggets and the New Orleans Pelicans. The Nuggets are 10.5-point favorites, total of 240. Let's take a look at the line history. Line opened up at a 10. It's now 10.5 for the Nuggets. So we do have a half-point line movement towards Denver. Line opened up 241. It's down to 239. So we do have a move towards the under in this game as well. We have 59% of the tickets are on the Nuggets on the spread, but 51% of the cash is on the Pelicans. The line has moved towards the Nugs. And then we have 63% of the tickets and 59% of cash on the over, and the line's really not moved too much there. These two teams just played, I believe, last game as well, and that resulted in a win for the Denver Nuggets in that one there. I believe Denver covered the number as well in that previous game. It was 125 to 113. Denver was anywhere between a 9 to 11-point favorite in that game, depending on the line you got, and I believe they covered. So I would lean towards Denver doing it again, winning and covering. This is a Denver Nuggets team that's kind of figuring out a little bit. They've won 3 in a row. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're playing some good basketball. After that fun little run, it was like, 4 games in a row for the New Orleans Pelicans. They've now lost 6 in a row, and they've covered in 1 of them. So this is a Pelicans team that's kind of fallen off a little bit after that nice little run. I'm passing on this one here, but it would be Denver or no bet. If I'm playing, I'm laying in that one. But yeah. Let's see. How about what's your favorite college basketball play today? Let me find it. That would be the one that grades out the best on our spreadsheet is the Memphis Tigers minus 17.5, minus 18 range. That one's the one that graded best. All right, Nets, don't change. Breakdown for every game is perfect. Yeah, it's getting stale, but yeah, I know a lot, and it's not a foregone conclusion that we're going to do it, but I mean, we'll see. Can be the Parleys again. I love pain. Yeah, this is what makes the show good. Every game breakdown. Nobody wants a talk show. We'll see. That's your opinion. I would like to hear other opinions as well. But we have 2 games remaining on the card. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 12-point favorites against the Phoenix Suns. We have total 225 in this game. Taking a look at the line history in this one, it opened up at an 11. It's now a 12 for OKC. Line opened up 225. It is now 227. So it moved towards the over here as well. We had the Thunder coming in off of a win and cover as 17.5-point favorites against the Milwaukee Bucks. We're resting a lot of their starters. They've won 2 in a row. They've won 3 of the last 4. They've won 7 of the last 10. The Oklahoma City Thunder are arguably the best team in basketball. On the flip side, with the Phoenix Suns, who are coming in on back-to-back losses against the Portland Trail Blazers. They were 5-point favorites in both those games, and they lost them by 19 and then 2. So there's that as well. They're okay team, the Phoenix Suns. Cash flow. I forgot to go over cash flow in this game. We have 50% of the tickets and 59% of cash on the Thunder. Line's moving towards them. So it looks like sharp money coming in on Oklahoma City. Line moving towards them. Makes them kind of appealing in this game. 84% of tickets, 84% cash on the over here as well. I'm interested in the Thunder at this 11.5, 12 number. And we're starting to see some 12.5s out there as well. I'm going to move on it here. I'm getting 11.5 minus 115 over on BetMGM. I'm going to fade the Phoenix Suns here in the spot. Minus 11.5 with the Thunder. Do I like laying this many points? No. Do I think there's a little bit of an edge though with the Thunder in this spot at this number? Kind of. These bigger favorites have been covering in the NBA, so it's not. It's one of those where like you can't be afraid to lay 1 million points sometimes. And this is a spot where I'll lay the points in this game. Minus 11.5 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they take care of business, and I wouldn't talk anybody off of doubling up on them potentially. If you want to go for like a little bit of smash and grab, you can get a first half at minus 7, minus 115 over Bet365. But for me, I'm going to lay the points here with the Thunder in this game. Yeah. I like going over every game. I like this because we bang all the games out of the way in one place. Yeah. I'm shocked they want to change the format. Who the hell put this in their head? I don't know. Yes, Rob, what are they thinking? I don't mind them going live more and more, though. Doesn't hurt. No way I'm listening to a talk show. Okay. I don't know what we're doing yet, but it's just a thought process. That's all it is. To try to make the show a little bit kind of like freshen up on the show, because we've done the same thing for years now, and maybe we just continue to do the way we do, but I don't know yet. Gotta figure it out. Lineup are Sacramento Kings and the Orlando Magic, final game of the NBA card. Line opened up at a 4. It's now a 5.5. Line opened up 217.5. It's now 219. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game. 71% of the tickets, 65% of cash on the Kings in this one here. And then 87% of the tickets and 88% of the cash is on the over here as well. We have the Magic coming in off of a loss in their last game, if I remember right. Let me get up the game here. If it'll click, that'll be cool. There we go. They've lost 4 in a row, the Orlando Magic, and 9 of their last 10. They've really fallen off to they're 8th in the Eastern Conference. They're in a play-in spot, but still, they've not looked good as of late. Really, neither of the Sacramento Kings. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games and 4 of their last 6. So this is a Kings team that's kind of been struggling a little bit as of late. This is their first game back after a road trip. The Kings, it was a 6-game road trip. They went 2-4 on that road trip. They were in Denver, New York, Brooklyn, Philly, Oklahoma City, then Minnesota. So not a spot I want to lay points with the Sacramento Kings, but at the same time, I don't want anything to do with the Magic right now either. So just a lean for me at this point. Actually, not even a lean. I don't really want either side in this game. So both these, I feel like I'd rather bet against than bet on at the moment. But it's just a small lean at the moment. But that's just about it. Let's see. Nick without KD. Without KD, they worth plus 12 though. I don't know. I come for opinions every game, and you can still ask them. Forget that thought process. Trust me, you'll get less views for a talk show. I mean, maybe not. But it's not like the views are doing great right now. I like talk shows. Why do we need to change what we do? Let's make the sports change what they do. All right. When playoffs come, it never gets boring. Yeah. Yes, Rob. This is the only show that goes over every game. Yeah. We are one of the only shows that does that. Well, I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll move on though. As we make the transition to the NHL. We have 3 games in hockey today. We'll kick it off with the New York Rangers taking on the Boston Bruins. We have the Rangers around minus 175 favorites in this game with a total of 6. It's the second half of a back-to-back for Boston, who played last night against Minnesota and got the shutout win 3-0. I had this game projected, though, around the 6.5 mark. I bet this game last night. I did a free pick video for this game last night. For this game, I got words. I got the 5.5 at minus 125. Is what I got for this game. I have this game projected closer towards the 6.5. Boston's been, other than that shutout game last night against Minnesota, defensively has been bad. And I expect I think the Rangers can get some goals in this game. I think the Bruins can help supply some goals here as well. I don't trust the Rangers much at all at the moment. They have been playing, I guess, a little bit better as of late, but still, they don't give me the utmost confidence. And we're seeing minus 210 now for the Rangers. Makes me want the Bruins a little bit more and more. I think the only thing keeping me off the Bruins is the fact that these 2 teams played 4 days ago in Boston, and Boston came out of that with a 6-3 win. Kind of a tough spot there with the short-term revenge. But the Rangers have lost 3 of their last 4 games. They are coming in off a win against the Vegas Golden Knights. But the Vegas Golden Knights have kind of been struggling a little bit as of late. I do see goals in this game, though. I think we can see a 3-3 game at some point in this one here. So I'm on the over 5.5. I'd play the 6 still. I think when I put it up on the site, it was a 6 because the only 5.5 available by the time I put up on the site was a minus 145. So we did the 6 instead. But yeah, I'm on the over in this game. I would still advocate for it at a 6. And at this number, I can only look towards Boston at the minus 200 number. I can only look towards Boston. Let's see. I will understand you want more views, but that would make it worse. That's what you think. I don't know if that's 100% true, honestly. Geez, the Rags/Bruins lines move so much. Yeah. Big rivalry, New York versus Boston. I don't know if it's as much of a rivalry because I would make the argument that the Rangers have bigger rivals and so do the Bruins. It's an original 6 matchup, but I mean, I would think Montreal is a bigger rival for the Bruins. I would think Toronto is a bigger rival for the Bruins. Tampa is a bigger rival. And for the Rangers, I think the Islanders are. I think recent years the Hurricanes are. So, yeah, maybe. Bees money line and draw, split, and same game parlay them. Yeah. I can't concentrate now. I'm shook. After 3 years, they want to change my schedule of watching the show. Oh man. Igor versus Corpusalo. Yeah. JT Miller goal and assist. He runs the Rangers offense. Yeah, let's see if he can help the Rangers that much. Nick is correct. Yeah. That's a fun statement to hear. But we'll move on. We have the Edmonton Oilers and the Chicago Blackhawks. We have the Oilers minus 265 favorites in this game with a total of 6 in this one here. I have this game projected for the Oilers to be a favorite. Yeah, I have them around the minus 200 mark though, not minus 265. Does that mean I want to get involved with the Blackhawks? Not particularly. And then for the total, I have this game projected for 6.75 goals. I have this game projected, I believe. I forgot to put in the numbers for the Montreal Canadiens last night, so let me quickly do that. I want to say this is the highest projected game of the day for me score-wise, but Montreal defensively. No, this is not the highest projected score game. That'll be the last game here. I think it wouldn't surprise me if I come into this slate, go all 3 games over the total and move on because I do see this game projecting out for an over. And let's see, can I get a 6 still? I can get a 6. It's minus 120 over on Bet365. At 6.5, I would pump the brakes. If you can still get a 6, I like this game over the total. That's where we're going to go in this game. Over 6, minus the 120 over on Bet365. I like the number. I think we're getting a little bit of value there. If you want to go for a little bit of a score, I'm seeing plus 110 for the over 6.5 in this game. But I do believe that this game at least sees 6 goals. And I have this game projected for a 6.75. So I would advocate if you can get decent enough plus money. I would take a shot with the over 6.5, but I advocate for the 5 here in this one. Call money line. Yeah. Can you imagine Tim talking for 20 minutes? Yes, we've seen it before. But it would be more of a back and forth type of thing, and it would allow us to be a little bit more creative with the show. That's kind of what I want, is to be a little bit more creative rather than, okay, we just talk every game and move on. It would lead to more ideas being thrown around, and I like it. I like the idea, but I know it's going to get a lot of bad feedback, and it is what it is. And we'll see how the numbers go. If the numbers drop off completely, then yeah, we can go back to the way we did it, but we'll see. Final game of the night, the Montreal Canadiens and the LA Kings. We have the Kings minus 225 favorites, total 5.5 in this game. This is a second half of a back-to-back for the Montreal Canadiens. They did play last night against the San Jose Sharks. It was a 4-3 victory for them. I have this game projected for the Kings to be favorites in this one here, not as huge as they are. So I do lean Montreal, but I don't like the situation with them on the back-to-back, especially off of a win. But with this being a 5.5, I will take the over in this game. So over in all 3 games for me is really the way I'm going tonight. I see value in all 3 overs because I have I think the lowest projected game I have was the first game we talked about, and I have that game projected for 6.52 goals. And the highest total on the card today is a 6. So when I have games projected that they all should be 6.5 and we're getting 5.5s and 6s, yeah, I'm going to take a shots with all the overs in this one. So that's exactly how we're going to finish off this card. Over 5.5 here, minus 120 for Montreal and LA. I'm seeing that over on Bet365. So over in all 3 games for me in the NHL tonight. Just goals, and more goals. Yeah. Maybe live bet Edmonton down 1 or 2. Yeah, that's assuming that the Blackhawks get a lead. But yeah, I can understand that. But that is everything for today's card. Kirby Doc goal. It's a nice little score, 4-1 would be nice. But that is everything for today's card. If you guys have not already, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we are live here at ESB, which is every single morning, anywhere between 10 and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Earle Sports Bet Show. But that's going to just about wrap it up for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.